This is pro wrestling's original MTV star, Rory Fox, and you're listening to the Slam Fam Wrestling Network. Welcome to the family. Send me my money via PayPal.
My name is Margaret Adelle, and I am joined, as always, by the 7-star mind, Alex McCarthy. Alex, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing wonderfully because we are just 2 days away from 3XW Adrenalize. Haven't been there for a while, but I look forward to getting to beat up a couple of new scrubs.
All right, sounds good. So we'll jump right into it then. Now, first up, we have the pre-show match at 7:20. Kind of a new thing. So if you haven't been to 3XW in a while, be sure to get there early to catch the pre-show match. And it's going to be Ajax Adams versus the Angry Dad John Rockhold. Now Ajax Adams is
a dweeb, yes.
was a commentator for 3XW for a long time while recovering from injury and only recently made his way back to the ring. However, I don't know too much about John Rockhold, although I am very intrigued that he is the Angry Dad. I'm hoping for good and or interesting things from that. But I know, Mr. McCarthy, you have a lot of opinions or feelings or complaints about
Ajax Adams is a dumb hillbilly. I hate to say it. I hate to say that about anybody. He's a dumb hillbilly, and obviously his parents didn't beat him enough as a child, so this is a great opportunity for this angry dad fella to hopefully take off his belt, give him a whooping, and maybe Ajax Adams will finally get smart, but I'm not holding my breath.
Do you really hate calling people hillbilly?
Yes, I'm a sophisticated gentleman. I hate talking about hillbillies.
Okay. Up next, we have the 3XW Pure Wrestling Championship on the line. Jaden Roller versus the American Fury John West. Now, John West only recently won the title from Jaden Roller.
That's right.
So we can pretty much see this as Jaden Roller trying to get it back. Now, how do you foresee this going for the American Fury?
John West has captured his first singles championship in 3XW. He held tag team titles multiple times, as you know, Margaret, with Mad Dog McDowell as a part of the American Bulldogs. Jaden Roller is a guy who I have a ton of respect for. He's someone who will do whatever it takes to win, just like me in the 7-Star Mind Academy. I think John West is a very capable wrestler. He's a great athlete. And I think it could go either way, but I think think Jaden Roller, I think he's going to get the belt back.
Oh, so you foresee it going almost immediately back to Jaden Roller. Interesting. I'm going to give it to the American Fury. I think John West has proven that he can work really hard, and I don't think he's going to let something go that easily now when he's just won it. Next up is a singles match between Redwing the Barbarian versus the Monarch, Jeremy Wyatt. Now, Jeremy Wyatt, of course, being, he's newly returned, but he's been at 3XW for years and held tons of championships. But Redwing is no slouch himself.
Former champion himself.
Yep. Having recently joined a tag team, and I wonder if we'll see his manager out and about. I'm not sure.
The Dungeons Dragons guy?
The one in the robes.
The wizard.
Is it? Okay.
I don't know what he is.
I'm not sure. I've never heard him identify himself as anything quite yet. But Redwing will be in the ring alone versus the Monarch. So how do you foresee this one going?
You know, my very first 3XW show, the main event was Redwing, the Barbarian, and Merrick Brave for the 3XW Pure Championship. And I believe, if I recall correctly, I believe that was the night that that Redwing won the Pure Championship. I could be mistaken. Either way, Redwing, former Pure Champion. Redwing, from the first moment I saw him, kind of blew me away, impressed me. He is a feat to behold. I mean, he hung in there with the fashionista Merrick Brave, one of the greatest wrestlers in the history of Iowa independent wrestling. Although another name on that list is the Monarch, Jeremy Wyatt. Jeremy Wyatt has a legacy in 3XW. He has a legacy in Iowa, and I really think that if there's anyone that can usurp Redwing the Barbarian and his new tag team, the Swarm, I think they're called, him and Mad Dog, I think it's Jeremy Wyatt, the Monarch.
Interesting. I'll have to give it to the Monarch as well because the sheer amount of experience, and he's definitely a fan favorite. In a lot of ways, also very hated. He's a very controversial figure. But he's definitely got the skill to pull that off. Next up, as a match I'm very excited about, it's our women's match.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing that 3XW does well is that there's always at least one, if not multiple, women's matches on the card, which is awesome. I'm always a fan. And this time, we're going to see Brooke Valentine against someone totally new.
Mm-hmm.
A female wrestler by the name of Quinn McKay is making her debut. And I am always so thrilled to see more women getting in the business and to have another women's wrestler to be a fan of. However, I'm a little bit nervous for Quinn because she is going up against the Queen Bee.
Yeah.
And Brooke Valentine is no slouch. She's a powerhouse, and she, I believe, enjoys inflicting pain whenever she comes around to 3XW. So, I as much as I hope and pray that things will go well for our newcomer, I think the Queen Bee's probably going to take this one.
You're absolutely right, Margaret. I mean, if you look at the match graphic, this girl Quinn McKay, she's very tiny. Just in comparison to Brooke, Brooke's obviously got the size advantage, and Brooke's got the experience advantage. Wrestling for what, almost 2 years now?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah, almost 2 years now. Definitely over a year and a half. And Brooke Valentine wrestles all over the place. I'm not sure where this Quinn
McKay.
Quinn McKay. I'm not sure where she came from. I'm not familiar with her. I haven't studied her, but I'm very familiar with Brooke Valentine, and I think she's gonna easily beat Quinn McKay. But I hope she doesn't beat her so bad that she doesn't come back, because I love women's wrestling and I want to see Quinn McKay come back.
Oh, definitely. All right, up next we have let's call it a very heated or passionate match, because we see what was once a solid team now at each other's throats. The previous members of the Bayside Bruisers are against each other. JC Slater versus Jaysin Strife versus, and I always mispronounce this one.
Seto Kobara?
Yes, I believe. Something like that.
Jaysin Strife?
Yes.
That's the one you didn't know how to pronounce? Jaysin Strife? Jaysin Strife.
I have a master's degree, you know.
So do I.
I'm sure.
From the 7-Star Mind Academy.
That makes sense. So, they've been a team for a while now. So
as long as I've been watching 3X.
It is kind of sad to see it all falling apart, and I think this is one of those matches where there won't really be a winner. I feel like whoever wins, it's the end of an era, and whoever comes out is going to be left with less than what they had before. But since we are talking about who we think will come out as the victor of the actual match, who would you give this one to?
you know, we started out, they were a three-man group. Seto, Kobara, previously Robert Storm. I'm not sure what the transformation's all about, to be perfectly honest. He does look an awful lot like Robert Storm. Maybe it's the same person, maybe it's not. You have to look at the end of the day, though. Who is the most experienced man of the group? Jaysin Strife. Who's the biggest man of the group? JC Slater. Who's the smartest man of the group? Which is the only variable that matters in professional wrestling or anywhere. To me, it's Jaysin Strife. So my money is on Jaysin Strife.
I think I'll have to put my vote in for JC Slater. The man just has the size, and Lord knows how many ceiling tiles he's broken just putting the beat down on his opponents. So the man clearly knows how to leave mayhem and destruction wherever he goes. So I think he's definitely gonna take it for that one.
Quite possible.
All right, and our next match is a singles match. And here we see Sentai versus the Copperhead Duke Cornell from the tag team Guns and Beer.
Guns and Beer hasn't been a thing, I don't think, in 3XW in a long time, Margaret.
But other places.
Yeah, he beat up Bogot. Bogot's retired now, so maybe you shouldn't talk about those old washed up guys.
Old washed up guys.
Bogot.
Oh, Bogot.
Bogot.
All right.
The underwear man.
Okay. So Sentai, I believe it's maybe understatement to say that you're not the biggest fan of Sentai.
Sentai, I am a big fan of Sentai because every time we get in the ring with Sentai, he reminds us how strong we are, how handsome we are, how we are the best wrestlers in the Midwest. My men, 7-Star Mind Academy. Duke Cornell, this is just going to be, you might as well call this Duke Appreciation Night for yourself because you are going to feel great. Beating up Sentai, he's pretty capable in the ring. He'll give you a little bit of a workout, but overall, Duke, you're going to be patting yourself on the back at the end of the night and saying, whew, that was easy. You're going to hit that Staples button. You're going to beat up Sentai. You're going to have a great time. Sentai has been in the ring with the Academy, 3 times now, I believe? Something like that. At least that, right? And he has never pinned or made to submit a member of the Academy that I can recall.
So you're saying Duke Cornell for an easy win here?
Basically, yeah.
I'm you know what? I'm gonna bet on the underdog. I'm gonna bet on Sentai. I do love the high flyers, and Sentai very much is that. No shade to Duke Cornell, but I don't know. I think Sentai has been working. He's been training. He's been trying to work himself back up from his losses against the 7-Star Mind Academy. So I think he might be able to just make it work. But I know, Mr. McCarthy, that the match you really want to talk about is one up next, where 2 of your students, acolytes,
associates,
Deonn Rusmann, the Iceberg, and Moondog Bernard will be taking on the Enlightenment, Mike Sydal and Luke Langley. Now, the Enlightenment hasn't been around for 3XW for too long, but they definitely are memorable. They're very much a sort of new age style, much about chakras and yoga and that sort of thing. And oh Lord, their flexibility and the ability to twist their bodies in the ring is quite amazing. Definitely shows the effects of that ultra healthy lifestyle that they lead. But I'm more interested to hear what you have to say about them.
You know what I have to say about them in this match, Margaret?
That's why I asked.
I have to say that I'm not sure that this match is going to happen. I have been petitioning 3XW management for proof that these hippies have their vaccinations, and if they don't have rabies shots, tetanus shots, all of their recommended vaccinations by a licensed physician. I'm not talking about, their Zen master or their yoga instructor saying that they can master Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I want documented proof that these hippies are going to be clean if we get in the ring with them, that they're not going to be, have rabies or tetanus or something.
Have rabies.
You
Brings
never
up
know.
brings up the question. Have you had Moondog tested for rabies?
Yes, he is up to date on all of his shots. We went to the vet last week.
Good to know. All right. So maybe this is me making an assumption, but you're saying that if this match does happen, that your associates will come out the victor.
Naturally, Margaret, by the 7-Star Mind Academy, have we ever been pinned or made to submit?
Not that I can recall.
Not that you can recall. And you're pretty smart. I'll admit that. You're pretty smart.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so it could happen. These guys are very capable. I don't necessarily agree with their lifestyle choices. I think their lifestyle choices are pretty offensive with the yoga and the other hippie stuff. I'm very much a by the book kind of guy. I believe in, going to the doctor, going to regular school. These guys were probably homeschooled, which means they're not as smart as us. And so we might be able to outsmart them. I think they're going to be pretty capable challengers, but I don't think they can. I don't know that they can beat the Academy.
Well, we'll definitely have to see Friday night.
What do you think, Margaret?
Well, I gotta say, there's just something about the way those two move in the ring that is so unlike anyone else. And
how much are they paying you?
For what?
To lie on their behalf. Go ahead.
Admittedly, I do lean a bit more towards hippie than away from it. So I gotta give it.
You have your shots?
I mean, what would you do if I said I had it?
I wouldn't be on this podcast with you.
In that case, I haven't.
Well, I'm going to have to hang up the Skype call, so you'll have to finish this one on your own.
That's all right. So, moving on.
Margaret, I would never do that to Todd Countryman. Todd, I'm a big fan. I appreciate everything you do for us at 3XW. I know you're listening. I'll finish off this podcast for the team, but then I'm going to recommend you to a licensed physician.
Such a noble sacrifice. Moving on. We have yet another, and it seems to be a night for it, another team falling apart.
You know what that proves to me, Margaret?
What?
There's really only one team of any kind of quality or substance in 3XW.
The Honor Roll?
The 7-Star Mind Academy. Everybody else is falling apart. Skylar Pierce. I heard the state athletic commission is thinking about taking his manager's license away because he can't keep his team together.
Well, and that's exactly the team we're talking about. Here we are going to see Jefe Barbosa against JD Riggs. Now, jog my memory. Is Barbosa still the tinsel champ?
Yeah, he can't beat anybody.
Oh, unfortunate. Now
because Skylar Pierce is a horrible manager. Now, if he wanted to enroll, take some classes at the 7-Star Mind Academy, I'd have that tinsel title off of him in 2 or 3 days.
So, this is going to be an interesting match. If anyone has seen the Pierce family, you'll notice a fairly large size difference. JD Riggs is a big man, and Barbosa is not. And he also has a tendency to try to how do I put this? Bribe his opponents into losing for him. It has not done him any favors yet. I have not actually seen anyone take the bribe and take a loss for him.
Obviously, or he wouldn't be the tinsel champion anymore.
Yeah. So a lot of the time he actually would call on JD Riggs to help him with his opponents. So now that JD Riggs is his opponent, Barbosa is in a super tough spot. I think. I mean, I can't really think of another outcome other than JD Riggs just destroying Barbosa.
Well, Margaret, there's one variable we haven't discussed here on the Pierce family exploding, and that's Skylar Pierce himself, who I understand has a podcast right here on the Slam Fam Wrestling Network,
That
the
he does.
Skylar Pierce Show. Skylar Pierce, is he going to help the little rat-looking fella? Is he going to help the big, dumb trucker? I don't know. That is a huge factor to consider. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think ever since they faced us at the Mingo Days back in June, they've just not been on the same page.
Yeah, the writing's unfortunately been on the wall for the Pierce family for a little bit,
And
but
it's a shame because they can't read it.
It's just a little bit shocking, We're seeing so much bereftment from teams falling apart.
Sometimes families fight, but that those things happen. Not academies don't fight. You never see a school implode.
All right then. So we're gonna move on to the big match, and one of the things I'm most excited for, other than the women's match, obviously, there is a scramble match to determine who will face Mad Dog McDowell for the 3XW heavyweight title on October 26th, and we have a fairly impressive list of names here.
I mean, they don't let just anybody challenge for the heavyweight title, Margaret.
So do you want to go through them one by one or have them all out at once?
Let's go through them one by one.
Well, the first name on my list is probably one of the most impressive for me, and that is Chainsaw King.
Chainsaw King's a weirdo. I'm not much he's like that. He does that never be normal thing. I myself am a pretty big fan of normalcy, so we don't always see eye to eye. But I will say that, he's a hard opponent to study for because he's unpredictable, because nothing he does makes sense. That being said, he's been champion before. I think he's got a great shot.
All right. Next up, we also have one half of the 3XW Tag Team Champions, Brady A. Desire.
Brady A. Desire was trained by one of my idols in professional wrestling, Mr. Nick Bockwinkel. Brady A. Desire has very impressive acumen in the ring. He dresses like a cow. I don't really understand that, but he will do whatever it takes to win, and I do understand that. I think Mad Dog McDowell better be watching over his shoulder for Brady A. Desire. And usually, 9 times out of 10, wherever Brady is, Randy's not far.
True, and I'm a little bit intrigued by the concept of one wrestler having both a tag title and a singles title. That's not that common, I believe.
It's not that common. It's happened before, and depending on the management, depending on who's in charge, there may be precedent. And it's Commissioner Todd Countryman. I haven't talked to him about this. If Brady A. Desire were to become the heavyweight champion, it may cause a precedent to vacate the tag team titles. And if that happens, I have a recommendation that Mr. Countryman simply hand those titles over to the 7-Star Mind Academy if Brady is unable to defend due to his obligations as heavyweight champion.
All right, I will leave that up to Mr. Countryman. Next up is actually two names, because it is both halves of the team Midwest Blood, Johnny Ruckus and Lars Metzger. Now, this one I'm a little bit sad about. I don't necessarily want to see them fighting each other. I feel like there's so much of teams fighting each other in this on this card to begin with. But
kind of a theme.
It's a little bit of a theme. However, this is just for the chance to face. We don't know necessarily that there's going to be any bad blood between them as a result of it. Personally, I always love a man that can rock a kilt, so I'm always going to be a Lars Metzger fan. And eventually I'm going to get to go see Johnny Ruckus to get a tattoo. Eventually. But what do you think of these two being in the scramble match?
I think how many times have they unsuccessfully challenge for the tag team titles now?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. They, Johnny Ruckus unsuccessfully challenged for the 3XW heavyweight title back in July at the 13th anniversary event, and now him and Laura Lars. They're gonna challenge for the heavyweight title. They want to challenge for the heavyweight title. I don't know. I think anytime there's a tag team, I think they're gonna have a target on their back. I think it's gonna work against them, and I think they're gonna be held away from getting that victory.
Oh, well, you might have a point. I could see them not wanting to fight too hard against each other. But next up, someone who will fight to destroy everyone around him is Xander Killen, a Black and Brave graduate who has also proven to be fairly hardcore in the ring, to work fairly hard. Really, and he isn't part of any sort of team, so he has that going for him. He has no strict allegiances or alliances with anyone else, as far as we know. So he definitely has more freedom than a lot of the other challengers in this match. What do you think of Mr. Killen?
Xander Killen, he's a hard-working guy. He doesn't take any shortcuts. The people love him. They love cheering for him in Des Moines. His mom comes and watches him wrestle, I think. And, he's very capable. I just don't think we haven't seen in 3XW the killer instinct needed to win a match like this. I don't know that he can do it.
Oh, well, speaking of someone that needs to turn a little bit, develop a killer instinct, like you said, next up we have Superfly Jay Fowler. Now, he's done a total 180 from the Superfly we used to know. Ever since he was forcibly unmasked at the hands of Rory Fox and the Honor Roll, he's just taken on a much darker, well, I should say persona, but I don't even think it's something he puts on. He's definitely bitter, I think, about being unmasked, about having his face just display that to the world, which, as anyone who watches wrestling knows, that is a gigantic embarrassment, just a huge humiliation, and
I got the scoop on that. Do you want to know what it is?
Sure.
Every Wednesday at Village Inn for the Free Pie Wednesday, he'd go in without the mask on and get a free slice of pie. And then later he'd go back in with the mask on and get 2 slices of pie. And now that he's not allowed to wear the mask anymore, he's not getting 2 free slices of pie. He'd do it everywhere. He'd use double coupon day, free ticket to the movies, any kind of free hot dog dinner at anywhere that he went. He would try to get double by wearing the mask and then not wearing the mask. And now that everybody knows that that ugly guy and the mask guy are the same guy, can't do it. That's a fact. I did journalistic research.
From where? What did you research?
I know a guy.
All right, I'm going to leave that at that. Next up is a member of the Honor Roll, JT Energy. Now, he's the filth you can't wash off, the 6-star booty, various other titles. He's definitely a character. You remember him when you see him. So what do you, the 7-star mind, think of the 6-star booty?
I mean, Rory Fox is one of the most intelligent guys. He's right up there with me as one of the smartest guys in independent wrestling in the state of Iowa. So he doesn't allow just anybody to carry his bags. Be in his group, the Honor Roll. So you know that JT Energy's got a lot of ability. I think, the way the gang mentality that the Honor Roll has had has inspired people and may inspire people to target JT Energy. Are there any other members of the Honor Roll involved in this affair, Margaret?
Yes, we have Delicious Devin Carter and Flawless Brandon Wallace.
Well, then obviously there's your answer. These guys are all gonna beat up everybody else. I imagine they'll all go for the pinfall at the same time, and that they will forfeit their title opportunity to their leader, Rory Fox.
And you think Rory's going to make another go for the title again?
I think Rory's going to win the title back.
It's possible. We've definitely never seen the honor roll ever deviate from what Rory Fox expected of them. Aside from all the other teams that we've talked about kind of imploding, the honor roll is pretty strong. They're pretty dedicated. They enjoy a certain amount of domination over the rest of the 3XW roster, so I can't foresee them giving that up. But I would be very intrigued if it actually happened the way you said. If all three of them went for the pinfall and all three of them essentially abdicated to Rory Fox for another shot at the title. I don't know. I think these men might have a selfish streak in them. Might want to be the one that's the heavyweight champion and not be under Rory Fox. But we'll have to see. And our last up, the scramble match, is a definite fan favorite, Donnie Pepper Cricket.
What fans?
Well, some fans.
The 7-Star Mind Academy fans don't like Donnie Pepper Cricket.
You have fans?
Are you kidding me? I'm not disrespectful.
So anyway.
Donnie Pepper Cricket's a big guy. The only thing I like about Donnie Pepper Cricket is he was beating up Ajax Adams before it was cool. That's what I will say about Donnie Pepper Cricket. Other than that, I don't know. You know, he's a big guy. He's definitely going to have an advantage. But he's also going to have a big old target on his back. So you never know. You never know in a match like this. Is the target going to be on their back, or are they going to be able to dominate? Because my understanding is that this is a scramble. It's going to be all 10 guys in there. Anything goes at the same time. And I think it's going to be whoever scores the first pinfall wins. That it might advantage a guy like Donnie Pepper Cricket. Might advantage a guy like Chainsaw King. Might advantage a group like the Honor Roll. Might advantage the bloody guys, the Midwest Blood. You never know. So it's hard to predict, but I'm assuming I would conjecture that this would be the part. Sorry, I'm trying to speak in words that these listeners can understand. I'm assuming that this is the part where you're gonna ask me for my prediction. Who's gonna win the this 10-man scrambler?
Well, you are the 7-Star Mind.
Well, my educated guess would be that the winner of the scramble would be Brady A. Desire.
Really?
Brady A. Desire. He's scrappy. He'll do whatever it takes to win. All these guys, you know, they've got their alliances. They've got their size. They're not gonna have a guy like Brady A. Desire on their radar. He might hit him with a tire iron. He might, you know, he's willing to do whatever it takes to win. I think it's gonna be Brady.
I don't even know who I would say in all of this.
Brady.
I don't really think Brady. I think it's hard to overlook a man that comes out wearing a giant bull mask. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go totally out of the blue, just to do something a little different. I'm gonna say Xander Killen.
All right, you want to bet money?
I'd rather not. I am very frugal.
All right, that's a good thing for you, huh? All right, go ahead and follow me at OneRealSmartAlex, like the 7-Star Mind, Alex McCarthy Facebook page. Margaret, I would stick around here for the plugs and all this other business, but I've got more important things to do, so I'll go ahead and leave that in your very capable hands.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
All right. Once again, this has been the preview show for 3XW's Adrenalize, Friday, September 7th, 2018, at the American Legion Hispanic Post, 1511 South Union Street in Des Moines. Doors open at 7:15, and like we said before, you want to get there as soon as possible for the pre-show match at 7:20. Adult tickets are $10 in advance, $15 at the door, and kids 10 and under are $5, 3 and under are free. So you know it's a good price for what you get. And we just went through the card. You know it's going to be so much fun. Thank you for listening. My name is Margaret Adelle. You can follow me at Margaret_Adelle on Twitter or Bells in a Cell. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you